Oh wow, hey, welcome to the Heart is a Dungeon post Gen Con Can't Talk. I'm Rahrah, I'm usually your mistress of ceremonies, and I guess I am today as well.
Oh,
Okay,
today, forever, and always.
that was the way to phrase that.
Who are all of you and who do you play on the show? Let's start with Zoe. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I play Purple Pippa.
Feral, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Feral. I'm playing the Weeping Gale. You may know her as Gemma.
You may. You have permission.
You may.
Kelly, do you have a name?
I do. Hi, I'm Kelly. And I play Egan the Lantern Jack.
Mika, what should we call you?
Hi, you can call me La La Lemon, the witch's bird. Ka.
Ka.
Ka!
Indeed. We got the whole cast here. Way to go, guys. It's nice to see
Yay.
everybody in person here in the studio.
Look at us.
I missed you guys.
We scheduled a thing.
I did.
It's
I
been a
missed
while.
all of you. Ugh.
It has
I
been.
miss
I miss
Yucky.
y'all. I miss how chaotic this game gets. I was talking about this last night, and
Who
I'm
told
like,
that?
you know, like people are like, "Oh no, our game's chaotic." And I'm like, no, our game is chaotic. We are truly Fae.
We're gonna start at the way back at the beginning. But for those listening, Mika, Feral, and myself got back from Gen Con, so we're a little wiped out. But Mika is a Crit Award nominated person for the channel that he co-created, Roll D5, and we're all rooting for Mika. And if this comes out later, congratulations, or I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I love the supportive
Yeah.
wooing was really good.
Woohoo! Da 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 da.
It's like little supportive little ghosts.
Oh
Oh my
god.
god, it's choir.
It is choir.
Kelly, how did our story begin?
How did our story begin? Okay, well it depends. Are you talking about the secret session zeros?
Ooh, yeah, why not? The listeners haven't had the pleasure, nay, I say the honor, of hearing those.
So I mean, Egan and Gemma, at that point we had all received our mysterious summons, hadn't we? At that point, it's just we hadn't all converged yet as a large group. We met some weren't there briars in the very beginning?
Yeah, it was actually
There
in one
were.
of the original promo clips. We had to pass through a briar patch, and I asked if I could talk to them. I don't know if it was the same one.
Interesting, wild.
Yeah. Don't make that face. I hadn't even thought about that in the longest time.
Oh, it's
Stop
on the
it, stop making
conspiracy
that
board.
face.
I'm prepared to unleash
Oh.
that at some point.
I'm expecting a full cork board with like the red
Please.
string tying everything
We
together.
performed for some pinecone school children,
The Frylings?
little blushing school
Meet
children.
the Frylings.
Yes,
They giggle at the sight of fire.
they were perfect in every way.
My biggest takeaway from our session zero was when Kelly rolled out and described Egan for the first time, and I'd never really heard them roleplay before. And it was just like, oh my god, okay, let's do this, because it was the most bizarre, awesome, imaginative description I'd ever heard ever. And it was just permission, like, go time, we're gonna just go hard with this, and it was the inspiration that I needed.
So I just want everybody to know that the argument about the names started there. Because what was the initial name you chose?
I think I introduced myself to you as Theo the first time.
Theo, yeah.
But it was actually in my playbook to let you guys name me, and so Kelly and I kind of schemed how we were going to go about making that make sense. So it definitely started there.
Zoe, Mika, how did the feathered folks session zero go?
Our session zero was a little different.
You were also making your way to where the almond was guiding you.
Indeed, we were following the nut.
Yes.
We almost killed a guy. We almost did a murder. You guys had a very nice, wholesome
yeah.
question mark session 0, and we almost did a murder. So
Yeah, Mika,
Almost.
tell us what led to the almost murder of, I'll add, the man who was stuck in stone. Like he couldn't get away.
I don't remember this.
On brand Lala.
Real convenient you don't remember the almost murder, Mika.
He was being a little butthead. He was trying to trick you, I think. He was all like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the Fae and I'm gonna scam a bunch of people.
Yeah, no wonder I wanted to kill him.
And then you
Yeah.
did. You pecked his eyes
You
multiple
pecked
times.
at him a lot.
And then you found some doors that had faces on them as you descended into almost like a hollow volcano type thing. Yeah, also pecking out the eyes or drawing them out to open them up. Moves like that. Until you also found your way all together to a strange door that you don't remember. Oh, Kelly, yes.
I just want to say, I remember hearing, we had experienced our session. Then I remembered hearing about your session, and I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be hardcore enough for these people. They almost killed a guy. I'm not on their level.
It wasn't
I'm like, I'm just going to disappoint these people because I don't roll as hard as them.
You could never do
The birds are quite gangster.
Oof. That's one way
It's
to put
true.
it.
Let's start at the very beginning. Episode 1. What are people's takeaways, thoughts as the story moved forward from there? We don't have to jump episode to episode to episode, but
Well, Prince Rhubarb clearly stole our hearts and is now the mascot of the show.
oh, who is Prince Rhubarb?
I'm wearing the shirt.
I don't know.
This one. You can't see it, listeners, but
I was
He's on my body.
wondering. Oh my goodness.
So cute.
Who was
I
Prince
love you
Rhubarb?
so
I don't
much.
remember. I don't know if I remember that one.
I definitely don't know.
you stop being cheeky.
Yeah, you totally don't remember. We only talk about this moth
Oh,
every
the
all
single
the
moth.
session.
time.
Where did you all run into the moth?
Prince Rhubarb lives in a barn.
Drinking in a barn.
At Talkin's house.
We kind of saved his life from a moth-eating witch,
We kind
who was also a princess.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also a princess,
He's
who
also a
also made an
princess.
appearance in the Fairy Ball episode.
We don't know that we've missed that yet. We're gonna be heartbroken.
I dumped out Rhubarb's trough. And it's Gemma's bathtub now.
That was the moment that you won Gemma's heart.
Yay!
And then you all made your way to N's farm, where Lala Lemon snuck into a window before y'all could get there, and Gemma ran into a briar out in a field.
What's with the bodies?
Resonates in my
classic.
brain.
You know what? have the people? No, they've heard the backstories at this point. It was very satisfying for me because I made the connection. Because as we were en route to the farm, I remember it was raining, and Egan couldn't handle that because obviously he's a toasty lad. But I remember Zoe hating the drops coming through the ceiling too. I'm like, yeah, Purple and Pippa and I are on the same page. But then listening to Pippa's backstory, I'm like, oh, now I know why. Okay, I get it now.
That hadn't happened yet, had it?
What, the episode?
I don't think I had recorded the backstory until after we recorded that.
It just
first
happened to
episode.
work out then.
It just happened
That's
to work out
amazing.
like that.
I had the same thought. There were a few little moments like that. We can talk more about Gemma being a brat later.
Why not now?
Let's do this. What did Gemma's interaction with the shrub make everyone realize about Gemma, and what did Lala Lemon's interactions of sneaking into the home before everybody and trying to wake up all the sleeping people before even talking to who lived there? What did those things say about Lala?
Well, we learned learned that Lala is a chaos rat.
Oh my god.
And can eat wings.
Chaos rat with wings.
I
Yes.
still want to see that move in greater detail.
It's definitely one way to put it. Yes.
Zero hesitation. Zero. Oh my gosh.
That's when I started to learn that Lala was going to be such a powerful like narrative tool. Because it's just so
Oh, yeah.
useful, especially in kind of a chaotic fairy episode, where if y'all are stumbling into things I don't want you to know too much about yet, or maybe you're getting a little close to certain clues, I can just put something shiny in front of Lala.
And he'll eat it.
See, Rahrah says there's clues. There are clues to find.
And of course I'm the one who's gonna steer everyone away from them. Just re-listening to my origin episode.
It's
So good.
beautiful.
It's so good.
Really, because I think it's the weakest
my
out of
goodness.
all of ours. 'Cause it's just at the same time, it's so classically. Okay, yeah, the Lala song, Aces, yes,
Gorgeous.
yes,
5 stars. 10
Um,
It's
stars.
Rahrah's fault.
Take all my money.
but very, very classically Lala. Yeah, very predictable. There's nothing wrong with that, but
Not at all.
very incredibly predictable.
Lala got the memo and has been consistent.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it is predictable in such a chaotic way. Like, yes, we know what you're going to do, but the results of what you're going to do are going to be chaotic nonetheless.
You see, I almost would find it more predictable that, like, oh, there will be that moment of relief where they don't go through with it and they choose friendship, but you didn't. And even though it was predictably Lala, it was not, like, predictable storytelling, and I really loved it.
With Gemma and the shrub, I really loved that I couldn't tell if Gemma was actually in love with the shrub or if Gemma was manipulating the shrub. I legitimately could not tell.
I wasn't sure.
I was kind of curious how that would look from the outside. I think that there is certainly a manipulative streak in many of Gemma's behaviors, but I think in that particular moment, it was more one of just allowing herself to be swept up in a moment, perhaps recklessly, but not in that particular moment was not necessarily manipulative. I mean, what would she have gained from the Briar? But she
Love.
certainly is capable of such a thing. I think she sincerely loves the Briars, is what I'm getting at.
Good to know. Zoe. Zoe,
We should
where are
have a
your
wedding.
brass knuckles?
Where are my brass knuckles? I should probably in Lala's stomach, honestly.
After End's Farm, where did we go? We had a travel episode, the first one, where you all were beginning to make your way to Choir.
Hey, which one was that?
That was
The-
the, one
the
where you
hedgehog
got
tea.
disappeared.
Hedgehog tea.
Nigel.
The hedgehog.
You almost did a murder.
I almost did a murder.
Yes.
I did. I didn't.
Egan, how was it facing down a situation you could tell was exactly sculpted to poke at very specific things in Egan?
How was it? It was wonderful. It was so good. Cause, you know what your character is capable of, and up until that point, it's the buttons you haven't gotten to push yet, and you were just like, here, take this. I'm like, okay, perfect. Let me almost murder this hedgehog, and
then that was the wild card for me, is I didn't know if Egan would or wouldn't if I present it with the, have you ever worried that you're just loud, you're not funny? Like this strange empathy moment. I just wasn't sure which side of that line of violence Egan was on, and I wanted to find out.
at least for me, this is how I've been playing Egan. Given his backstory, I have always tried to play Egan. Like, yes, he's very obviously Fae, but there's that mortal pinch of magic to him as well, given how he came into being. So where it would normally just be, rampant chaos potentially, there is a compass there that for whatever reason he doesn't know quite why he has it, but he has it. And in those moments where he would enact vengeance or power or anything like that. That's kind of when it comes into play, depending on how far he is being pushed.
And this was also when Gemma was very small, having reformed after being a cloud. And Purple Pippa made breakfast and began the tradition of screaming out for breakfast, but also got rid of the hedgehog's tea set when Egan suddenly disappeared.
Yeah, no one was concerned. I remember that.
Well, listen, you were still.
Yeah, I remember. He'll be fine. I remember. You said it. Yeah, you said it.
And
exactly.
you were fine. I can see the future.
I was in a gravy boat.
But then you all got to choir. There was a strange river creature. Oh, here's something I have been so excited about really quick before we get into this scene. Meander, the Riverwise, the one who was out front with the carts.
Yes.
Okay, all the way
In
back
my
in
notes.
Egan's backstory, there's a line, Egan, one day if you follow your destiny, you'll learn a lot about rivers. And then you're approaching at choir, and the narration was like, Egan, you hear like something your destiny depends upon you noticing. Gemma thought I meant Gemma. So Gemma was like, you hear a little ting, 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 ting on the glass, thus stepping in front of your destiny. And then that part of your destiny left because you woke up the ghosts before the sun went down, and they didn't feel safe because that never happens. So it was, in my head, it was like this, ooh, and then you and Gemma started getting close right after Gemma stepped in front of the destiny line on accident. Oh,
Gemma hijacked your destiny.
I've been so excited about it.
I love that.
I could still get it. I could still get it.
Because this is a game
Oh.
about how people change. Speaking of change,
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Mika, do you find any good metaphor fuel in Lala's form shifting? The feeling not at home in the skin, is that a unique story for you or a new one to tell? Because I find some affinity in it, personally.
It's a damn good question.
I didn't really think about it till just now.
I see a lot of trans allegory in Lala in my own feelings.
Really, I was thinking more. I had a talk with Jaden about this. If you don't know Jaden, it's Jaden King. I'm on Ravenloft Misfits with them on Talking XP. We were talking about race, me being biracial, code switching.
Cool.
And I think a lot of it has to do with that, with the being Latin, but being like lighter skinned. But like it's still not enough for like I've got an entire folder on my phone of screenshots from dating apps of people being like, so what are you? So
Terrible.
combos.
Ugh.
That's how I should respond. Like combine that with like also not realizing I'm masking or switching up for straight people or for non-Latin people, or I guess mostly for white people. Like after having lived in Utah for like 8 years, so I think a lot of like Lala's transformations between just various sizes of Corvid to humanoid are it's kind of a subconscious thing, but it's very I think ties into that.
I found a lot of really cool empathy. Well, I found a lot of cool affinity with you having to roll to be comfortable in the form. Because like sometimes the gender spectrum for me is I'll wake up a certain day feeling very at home in one aspect of it, but then the next day that's completely different and I don't feel at home in my own skin. And that being left up to the dice for Lala is something I really love because it never follows a pattern. And I've really enjoyed the metaphor that's been. Even though you didn't even know that was going on, I really enjoyed it.
I think like I could just relate to that with not with gender, but like with other things, like close to gender, just
Body
yeah, body
dysphoria.
dysphoria, sexuality. Actually, expecting of like dysphoria and stuff. Something I do think about often is like, do I see myself as he, him, or he, they, or they, them? Which is something I check in with myself a lot, actually. Like, what am I comfortable with? And like, you know, I land on like he, him, but it is, yeah, just the older I get, there's a lot that I think about, and it does very constantly in life feel like a roll of the dice. Which days am I going to wake up? Am I going to feel more Latin? Which days am I going to wake up and question, like, am I more they, them? Do I really identify with this type of masculinity? Or how fabulous and gay am I going to be today? You know, it is just a roll of the dice.
Zoe.
Hello.
I feel that Purple Pippa has depths that are kept hidden fairly often.
Yeah.
In a way where I don't even understand them all the way. But when you went, this is later on, but when you went full bird mode in that town I won't say, and just kind of started staring off in the distance, they opened up all of Purple Pippa for me. Like, all the way back to your little beginning character intro, there is so much hidden bird mannerisms
So
to
much
you.
in-
But I kind of want to know more about, is Purple Pippa as even killed as they seem? And just kind of happy to help most of the time, or preferred to be helping most of the time? Or is that a tea kettle that one day might steam too much?
Terrible pun. Terrible.
Ha!
Oh my
Judgment.
goodness. When that moment in town that must not be named happened, that is actually the first time I saw a trajectory for her. It's a lot of the time when I create a character, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the backstory is. I barely have a name in mind. I don't know what's happening. And it's crazy coming in here with all of you who know exactly what's going on, have these beautiful descriptions. I never know what's happening. There's a lot of head nods no.
That's not true. I do not know.
I very much feel like I don't know what's going on.
We have no idea what's happening. Either.
I absolutely never know what's going on. And then when that moment happened, and then the thing in the episode afterwards, and the lots of things happening. Everything sort of clicked into place, and I see the change. The game is afoot.
Speaking of change in the game, backstories. Mika, how do you feel about the whole gears thing that keeps happening?
With Lala?
Yeah, with your hollow bird-like body.
What do you mean bird-like?
Yeah, it's very definitely bird. Birds have infinite voids within them that contain multitudes of cafes.
Bumper sticker.
One shots.
It's in every book.
If you make that bumper sticker, I will buy it.
Look it up.
Put that in the merch store.
Lala Lemon's a fun, different thing, because Mika basically was like, do whatever you want with Lala, and I don't need to know about it. So there's aspects of Lala
That's
that
too
Mika's
much
still
power.
learning as they're still happening.
Which
I love that.
I feel like was a fair trade-off for the way I play Lala. So with the gears thing, I think it's my first thought, which is really dumb, those machines where you pay like 50 cents and you can squish a penny.
Yeah.
I love those.
A penny
penny
press,
press?
yes.
I used to collect those.
I still get those. I always lose them, but I see Lala as a penny press, like with the gears and how much she loves coins.
Cool.
I love that so
I love
much.
that so
What are your predictions for Lala?
That's so good.
He will be pressed.
No.
Pressed how? Pressed literally? Pressed emotionally?
Yes. I imagine his journey ending with him turning into a precious gem, which feels very fey in like 100 years something will break him free. But yeah, I see him turning into a little Lala gem or pressed penny.
Like how diamonds form under pressure.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Or that's a
under
metaphor
pressure.
for Lala will finally become something he loves.
Ooh, self-love. I think Lala
Oh,
doesn't realize it, but
Rahrah.
definitely does lack self-love and self-worth. He seeks worth in objects and not within himself.
Once he finally becomes an object, maybe he'll value himself.
Ouch.
Woof.
But at the same time, I think going on this journey, bonding with everyone, seeing the crying people are doing and stuff, I think everyone else is helping to start to find worth in themselves. But I still think, yeah, Lala's going to end up as like a diamond bird or an emerald bird or whatever jewel is yellow.
Before we move to Gemma's backstory, Mika, how was it recording with Jess again? You both were cousins and kids on bikes in season 1 together, and you got to reunite to be a fairy and a bird seeking stuff for a hot air balloon.
It was very easy to. Granted, we only had like one real session together that was split into 3 episodes for Kids on Bikes, the Kids on Bikes section. Which I still love a follow-up to.
I mean,
just
you
'cause
both
of how
are
things
lost
ended.
in the world.
Frankie
yeah.
needs to find Rosie and Joshua. I'm
Yeah.
still upset about this. That's one of my favorite arcs of season 1.
It was very fun listening back to, and it was, yeah, like everything was very, like for Kids on Bikes, and then going into this 3 uniting was very easy, very casual, and comfortable. It was very comfortable.
Gemma, Feral, moving to your backstory. Hey, what was it like to record with Abby? Did you learn anything about your backstory you didn't expect?
Thank goodness I had not heard Abby before we played together, because I would have been a nervous wreck. When she just started dropping this really intense, gorgeous poetry, I was floored. She was hilarious and kind of, I mean, you guys know her. I was so shocked. I mean, thank goodness we were already like mid-flow, because I kind of possumed up a little bit.
I did too, to be honest. Abby caught me. Like, I had a list of sea creatures and plants that I just never touched, because I'm like, oh, you got it. You just got this off the top of your head.
Oh, you did it.
But it also didn't end up exactly being the story I had planned either. So, for those who don't know, I really was raised by a single father, but that was not the intention going into the story. The backstory that I had written, it was actually my father that was the Selkie, and I wouldn't change it for the world, because I loved the way it came out. But having been raised by a single father, there was certainly a moment where I was like, this just got really close to home. Dad, if you hear this, I swear to God, this is not intended to be anything close to reality. You can definitely tell a tone shift kind of after my dialogue with Pyrophera on the beach, because that is really me trying not to just bawl my eyes out. But it was an incredible experience. Like, it was not what I thought it was going to be, but it's one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of making, so I wouldn't change it.
That was a real fun one to GM and just kind of watch it happen, because I didn't have to do a lot for that episode. It was like, oh yeah, Dad's chasing away lovers, bell, 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 ocean, ocean, talk. And like they just took it. Like Abby could just hold it, and then Feral, I thought your vulnerability as a younger character was very present and cool in that one. But it was just watching that happen and knowing what was forming was just a very cool experience. 'Cause I'm like, this is just so minimalist. I'm just gonna make beautiful seagulls. Like I could just hear it while we were recording. And Abby was endlessly impressive.
Yes.
I had listened to that backstory and then I got scared. I think that was the first time I'd heard Abby play as well, and then I was intimidated to play with Abby further down the line. We just keep passing it down because everybody's so impressive in this space.
Seriously, everyone.
Everybody's so talented.
Egan, A, how was it to be with Abigail? B was, how was it to be asked, what's a flame like when they come to life? How did you feel about all that stuff in that tower with that random magician that wasn't connected to anyone else?
Yeah, totally. He's
No.
not tied to anyone else. Definitely no birds live there
Ka.
at all. Basically, my backstory taught me that I ruined everyone's life. In some way, shape, or form, I wrecked everyone's life. And you know what? I just wanted to
I
live,
don't think
alright?
you wrecked Zoe's life. Purple
I don't
Pippa's.
think so.
I didn't at all, not
I
even
mean,
in the
they
slightest.
lost a customer.
That we
Are you
know
sure?
of.
But
Double check.
Yeah.
Double check.
But at least
Lost
they
a
didn't
customer.
lose a whole cafe.
That could have been the customer that made the difference. Maybe they had all the teeth. Who knows? Playing with Abigail was absolutely lovely. I can't picture anybody else as Majesty now. Her whole bit about like the Puss in Boots story, and she added such a lovely element of just slyness and fun to what was the backstory of a fairly sad character, and teetering those kinds of vibes back and forth was very, very fun. And watching like a character who's just like lost to despair get hope from this wily creature that wandered into the tower. Abigail's amazing.
perfect cat, too, just on their own right there.
Perfect cat. Perfect cat. That was, the fire was, I should have anticipated you asking me that question before I came in. And honestly, that's on me. I didn't, that's so on me. You asked me, it's like, oh, god damn it, alright. Honestly, it was a great challenge, and it's a challenge that I don't think I've had before in the space. And the fact that I have you pushed me to do that, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Because it's something that I ended up being very proud of with the description that I came up with, and was it perfect? I don't obviously, role play and nothing's ever perfect. It's just the improvisational nature of it. But I was very proud of that for trying to step up to the question, because that's one of the most off the cuff toughest things I've been asked to do at the table. So I have you to thank for that, so thank you, Rahrah.
Oh, you nailed it out of the park. As a player, because those listening, sometimes I'm also a player. Big swings can be fails, especially when an idea is too surreal and you just don't lock down the phrasing properly. You did such an immaculate job with that. Grant from Game Master Monday, who was quoted as saying we're weird, is also quoted as saying that was our best episode that we've ever made.
True
Can't
facts.
Man.
I can't argue with that.
And not too far from that tower, in the town of Cottage, there was, probably, hopefully still is, a little cafe called the Purple Pansy. Zoe, how was Selena, who we actually met last week in their Aurum cosplay multiple times. And I had played with on Old Gods of Appalachia, and they joined us for the Rabbit Made of Stars and Rabbit Made of Sunlight from Season 1, and they made an amazing Aurum. But, and how was it to also have a slightly more happy backstory? I mean, the loss of a business and all, but it wasn't like scarred hands being torn from a parent type of trauma. Tell us about it, Zoe. Tell us about Purple Pippa and what you imagined her origins to impact on her.
Oh my goodness. First of all, Selena, when you were describing the teeth, you had not actually said teeth, but you were describing what was in the sack. And
Small
they
and
caught
clackety. Yeah.
Yeah, they caught it immediately. And I'm here like, what is in this sack? I don't know what's happening. And then they said teeth, and I went, brain blast, tooth fairy. Oh my goodness.
If they had said acorns, that would have been canon. Like, I was just waiting for Salita to say what was in the bag.
Teeth. Oh my goodness. It was so perfect. Anyway. I'm bad about talking about myself through a character, I guess. So, going in, I played with you. We played Orbital Blues on Girls Run These Worlds, and
Jealous.
it was
Oh
I
very
met
good.
gosh.
Fiona
It was
this
very
last
fun.
weekend also, who was in that
I
Orbital
saw
Blues game. Yeah.
Oh,
Of What Am
so
I
jealous.
Rolling? Yes,
Yes.
podcast.
Where?
Yep.
And I played the only person who was not really traumatized. I had a perfect, lovely, wonderful family, stay-at-home parents. And then coming into this, I also was like, I am not really traumatized, and I am just kind of a guy.
Somebody has to.
Somebody has to be normal.
I really appreciate
Somebody
it,
has to be.
Normal's a strong word.
If everyone's origin is
Yeah,
dark,
normal is
it's
a
not
strong
as
word.
dramatic when they reach a dark moment. When someone's origin is like
Indeed.
lighthearted, it's much more impactful when that person falls to an extent, in my opinion.
I would die for Pippa.
Listen, I would die for all of your characters too.
Don't die for Gemma.
No, Zoe, can I tell you something now?
Yes, Kelly.
One of my favorite parts of your backstory, and like you're talking about normal, right? But normal and like, you know, a pleasant backstory is also relatable. And I think there was one moment during your backstory where you were describing what it was like when you were young around the cafe, and you were hiding under something and you just saw feet going by, and I could picture it so clearly because like we all did that. We all did that as kids, where you're just like, the world is so much bigger than you and you don't really know how to receive it or exist in it, and you're just kind of watching it go by, and everything is just, that was like one of my favorite parts of your backstory. I just loved it, the way you
That was in
described
the
it so
original
much.
character
I just love it.
description too, like often hid under the sink. Yeah.
As absolutely lovely.
What's more
I,
terrifying and
real
relatable than
person
Bills?
Zoe. Bill, oh God, Bills. Don't talk about the Bills.
Speaking of like the
Terrible.
world
Oh my
feeling
goodness.
big and stuff, song recommendation for the day. No, Before the World Was Big by Girlpool. Highly recommend it. I tear up listening to it.
Straight from Lala's mouth. So, because I wanted to ask you, with these backstories, having recorded them very early in the process, did it help you think about your character more or force you to? And then did hearing it again later remind you of things you had forgotten? We won't go in like initiative or anything. It's just whoever has something to say and whoever passes can pass type of deal.
I feel like a lot of times people are asked to write a story, or a backstory, and that's great and all. You can think about it and sort of write out your initial thoughts, but I feel like having the first couple of sessions meeting each other and then going into backstories and having to actually think about it and actually be in the backstory was super helpful for me.
I am 1000%. It informed tons of moments for Egan, having such a clear picture of what he'd
Murderer from day one.
experienced.
Yeah.
Like I won't.
I mean, that would
hey,
form a creature,
Hey.
it seems.
Hey. I don't think we've gotten to that episode yet, so I won't say anything specifically. But at one point in our series, Egan is given a gift by another player character. And it hit me that the first gift Egan was ever given was his life, and he had to pay for it. Like there was a cost to get that. He'd never had anyone give something to him freely. And when I realized that, it just rocked me.
I definitely agree with everything everyone said so far, but would just add, for me, playing a character that really by nature of the playbook I chose was secretive and aloof, it really gave me an opportunity to kind of show everyone some context of like, yes, I'm manipulative and mean, but I was also kind of robbed of a chance to develop those emotions in a healthy way. Doesn't make it okay, maybe not, but it allowed me to play out a context and show a side of Gemma that I'm not sure how much opportunity there will be to explore in the future, but in addition to everything everyone else said about having a guidepost and getting to have the opportunity to actually play that out, that was something that was extra special for me, of just, this is who I was, even if it's the only time you get a glimpse.
I loved with Lala Lemons it was really profound to me for some reason when you first arrived there and hugged your friend. What was their name? I should stop calling their friend. I keep forgetting. Something Barry? No. Mika, what was your best friend's name who gave you the scarf?
No, don't put this on me. I just recently listened to the episode too.
It's okay. Mika also didn't know who Talking the Shroud was for a long time.
Who's
I
the
got
goat?
conspiracies about that too.
That was my favorite.
So good.
Who is that?
Bellflower.
Bellflower.
Okay. Deal. Back to recording. I really loved when you first arrived at Bellflower's house and they ran up and hugged you, and it hit me so profoundly when Lala Lemon said, "He hugs back." Because that was like one of the first, and I think maybe up to this point, the only show of real affection that's come out of Lala that wasn't affection by like loyalty or proximity. And so right there, it showed that Lala isn't always exactly the Lala we know, but is also sometimes one that hugs back.
My heart.
I think part of that too comes from the fact that, like, right beforehand, yeah, he lost his friend because he was being selfish. He was, I mean, he was just being, or they were just being who they are. But I think that definitely played into it.
Oh, people haven't heard the rhubarb episode yet, but Bellflower going out to find you with their little hot air balloon with a scarf that has the lemon brooch on it, I believe, is just Jess brought it back in such a good, wholesome, like, I've got to find my friend type of way. It was awesome.
I love Jess.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
She's
Jess
so
is so
quick.
good.
She's
Jess
so
is my
so
heart.
good.
She's the one I always say, the reason I noticed them was that in a scene they had with a baby shrimp soul that could smoke anything. And it was just so beautiful and profound, and I was like moved over this baby shrimp soul that could smoke anything. So I messaged him like the next day.
Dolly forever.
That's incredible.
Okay, so the timing of all of our backstories, did you guys notice the parallels? So Lala's backstory, he comes upon the tower burning, so that has to be about the time Egan was being born. But I'm a little kid
Thank you. Thank
going
you.
into Zoe's, or to Purple Pippa's tea shop. And don't they also, in that episode, mention the lighthouse being empty?
In Lala's
Or maybe that was
episode.
this in Lala. Yeah.
Yes.
I was kind of under the impression in game that Gemma was much older than Egan, for example, but that really threw my whole perspective of the timeline out of loop. Like, how long ago did we make our deals, for one thing? How long ago were these backstories?
Mika's, Lala's quite old. I'll just say, I'm just saying that. It's not attached to anything, I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, greed
And we
itself
also
is
heard
ancient.
Takam outside the tower in Egan's backstory. And Lala lived in that tower, according to that backstory. So shouldn't Lala know Takam from when he lived there?
I'd say there's lots of things Lala should know.
There are, and some of them are just because I do so many things,
Oh, I know.
and
I don't. This is not a
often-
judgment of you, Mika. I think Rahrah is trying to slip this one by us.
Oh no, I'd
This-
say 50%. It's a large chunk of it is also just me.
This is a
I'm sure.
spoiler for everybody, but there is an episode coming that will actually touch into a little bit more of Lala's origin, and you all are in it. Someone else is in it, but there is a canon element of why Lala doesn't remember things that will be revealed in that episode.
I've been playing with Rahrah for some time before we started recording, and there's always interconnectedness. I've broken worlds I didn't even know existed. I'm onto you, Rahrah. I need someone to
we
have
talked
listened to
about some
all
of
of it, because I'm pretty sure some of it might reference back to at least maybe when magic ends
Also,
our story.
where do Josephine and the Frostburns fit in, alright? I think they're the key to all of this.
They might be. They're kind of
They might be.
floating without ties on the conspiracy
There's
board.
so
To
much
be
question
honest,
mark right
I've attempted to get you guys like 5 circus mates that go along with you, and y'all just go a little wild or turn them down and things of that sort. So I'm glad you picked up the band, at least.
We did. I did almost squish them. Didn't do it, though.
We didn't really get an instruction manual.
No, you did
Do
not.
we even know for sure we're a circus?
We didn't ask.
And that was a fun element for me, actually, because I had it in my mind, it was going to be a much more clear process. Travel episode, performance episode, travel episode, performance episode, and that's just how things would go. But then I started realizing that the real story here is how you all interact with each other and things you run into versus some let's get to X at the end of a trail. I think at its heart, the season is sort of a slice of life episode, like season.
About the journey.
Yeah.
But it's just a fairy tale slice of life. Our circus campaign will
Yeah.
have like what 3 or 4 performances.
There's tea.
Yeah.
There is
There-
Steve.
But the time
There's
being
crying.
off is an element that will be understood more later. There's actually an episode coming with 3 members of Roll D5 and Rachel from RP Jesters, where they're going to interact with some things that they don't know will greatly affect what's happening
Oh, boy.
with you all.
What?
That's terrifying.
Yeah, and
What do you
this will
mean?
be out.
You're just putting our
after
lives
this
in their
and everything.
hands.
More like circumstances in their hands.
Tell me your secrets.
So
Rob.
I have ideas, but I'm gonna let them be my dice. I'm gonna roll the people a little
Oh
bit.
no.
I kind of love that.
Takes the responsibility out of my hands.
scared.
Also.
So I can hold them personally responsible.
Some people talk a lot about collaborative story games where like, and I get that people do this, I just don't tend to do this, where you sit at session 0 and build the world together, like players and GM. I think I would really not be as into that as the other. Like I really like immersion. I don't really want to build the sausage, so to speak. But the way I like player collaboration is I let them do anything. And then it dramatically changes my world, and it dramatically changed the paths. So I don't let them help build anything, but I let them change anything. And that's why Lala Lemon's been super useful. And to an extent, even Egan being a little hot-headed has been super useful. Gemma, of course, if a little Briar pulls her finger, she's going to pull back. Like, of course, if Purple Pipple smells terrible tea, they're going to run outside. Like, these are invitations to collaborate, basically, versus any sort of quest starter. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's important most of the time.
As a veteran player at Rahrah's tables, the best advice I give newbies is if you're stumped, if you can't figure out what to do, just do something pretty or weird and just trust that Rahrah will pick it up and run with it. There's so much of season 1 where I'm like, I have no idea. I'm just gonna start singing, and then something cool happens.
Yeah, a pretty enough move I count as a crit most of the time.
I love that.
But speaking of performances, choir. I think at this point you've done choir and you didn't perform it
Done
under
choir.
Overstone. Okay, choir. Let's talk about choir and the circus performance of choir.
You know, riot can be performance.
You also I mean, that's also included in this. But first, let's start at choir, and then we'll go to Overstone real quick.
Okay.
How do you guys think you did with the whole, you inspired
was
hope,
so
but not
fun.
revolution?
I loved our performance and how we all came together for that. The part that still haunts me is we got rewarded by the suit. You know what I mean? And I didn't want that to happen, but we got rewarded by the suit in the end, which I still think we should go back and we could take that man. We could take him down.
Absolutely take it.
I almost got us killed because I didn't like that. Yeah.
I thought all your performances were amazing, and I also loved the nuance of all of you kind of jumping on the theme of change, and how at the end I basically just let you decide if you thought it was enough that they would, break their ghostly dead and free, and you collectively decided that you didn't think it was, and that was amazing. Like, that was just a moment of very cool, honest, at that point, collaborative storytelling. Because I loved that the change slow, you could have all been like, that was so unique and beautiful. Like, they definitely are willing to just change right now and leave, but you all planted a seed versus needing an instant victory, even though Gemma sounded quite moody about it.
She was. She's still pretty moody about it, honestly. But I'm pretty sure we suffered for it later.
What you suffered for was attempting to finagle Mr. Grassland.
I just wanted to dance.
I have no idea what you're talking
We didn't
about.
do
Gemma
anything.
just wanted to dance.
Normal human dude with a bunch of fairies
Prove
around
it.
asking to dance. I watched a friend of mine walk up to a security guard on LSD
dance.
once and tried to shake his hand, and that was the exact same mental vibe I was picturing as Gemma was like, just dance with me.
All winter form.
Yeah. It's fine, just dance.
Just dance.
And Mika, was it any harder for you to want to overthrow Mr. Grassland when he was offering all the shiny things?
Yes.
Because it was supposed to be.
It was, yeah.
Good.
I don't remember why I made my decisions for that particular. I think part of that was because that was still early enough on that, like, I didn't want to be completely one note. I think I would act a bit differently now. But yeah, it was difficult.
I
yeah.
thought you did great in that one too. The voice rising with pedantic tones, because you were
I
in
liked
your
it. That
human
was my-
form when it started. Because the episode before ended with you tapping your fingers on the stage, whistling a tune.
Mhm.
And I really liked Kelly with the Egan with trying to make them not as afraid of fire. Bold move. Like, I know what
Yes.
killed you was hungry, but this is nice.
Tried.
How do you feel being something that is killed because it's hungry but now is nice?
Egan? Me? Have I
Oh,
killed?
Egan's definitely
Who are we talking
killed. But
I haven't killed anyone.
I like that Egan's performance also matched Egan. Like, Egan was also something dangerous that had killed that now was not hungry. And I loved Purple Pippa haunting Egan kind of like a big sibling a little bit during that episode around Mr. Grassland. Because I remember Kelly's voice being so sincere. If Egan knows that that's what you were doing, like, he would smile so big. As Purple Pippa's like, what? Behind Egan.
I love
Egan
it.
is noticeably taller, but I can be scary.
I really enjoy how that has maintained throughout the story. I feel that relationship, and it makes me very happy.
So, to rush us a little bit, the Overstone arc. You all had
No.
a series of dreams on your way to Overstone. Purple Pippa was serving tea that made people lose their memories. Gemma was looking upon a lover that was terrified of what she had done and was running kind of away as her hands were kind of bloody in the water. Egan was running through stone
we never got to
with
go there.
claws and 4 arms and sucking souls out of sleeping dwarves. And Lala Lemon's
Like
chest
that one
was
does.
open. A sound of conveyor belts and gears, but Lala was not moved, Mika declared, and Lala slept just fine. And then that led you all to Overstone, where you decided to go to the above city versus the deep in the mountain city of Understone. And, take it from the dreams forward there a little bit. How's all this arc going?
Nothing of note happened.
No.
Totally peaceful.
normal.
We went to the pub
I went shopping.
and
Yeah.
Oh.
nothing
We
weird
had like a
happened
downtime
at
episode,
all.
I think.
Yeah.
It was
We
supposed
had a
to
beach
yeah.
episode. Yeah.
And someone started a
Yeah, it was
riot.
a beach episode.
Oh,
It was
It was
the.
yeah, 1000%. No, there was a riot. Which we did not start. It's not a we.
I didn't start. I had nothing to do
No,
with
it was
that.
already there. It was already happening when we got there.
It's just a you.
This was some of the coolest serendipity that there was, because all I had for the setting in this town was there are 2 sides that are about to pop off, and they're probably going to pop off while you're in the tavern. So you'll emerge to like the city split basically on 2 sides of the street. So when Lala goes right up to a guard, some mutinous, some not, and then just declares their secrets, I was looking at my notes, I'm like, well, I really could. I really could right now. It could just start right now. And it was amazing. Like Lala once again
obsessed
being a
with it.
narrative force of nature.
They just mildly inconvenienced me too, if I'm
They
remembering
didn't
correctly.
want you investigating the crime.
Yes, and so I'm like, fine,
Yeah.
screw you. What's your secret?
And it was that they were on the insurrectionist side.
Yeah.
But then it also aggravated to the point where there was a 3rd group wearing little black sashes that were all Lala's like fanatics.
Mine was orange.
And you all got separated.
They started a cult.
I'm excited to listen to this episode because I had to leave, and so I still don't fully
that's
know what
right.
happened after I did my.
Why don't you all
oopsie.
Oh, boy.
mention it a little bit what happened to the 3 of you? Because you all went into that big middle building.
Yeah.
I told them it was a bad idea.
Mika later flew into its chimney. But you all went through the front door. And what happened?
Yeah.
It slammed shut
Nothing,
on
it was
us.
fine.
It was rude.
It was fine.
They tried to cook me in a tea kettle. That's what happened.
My tea kettle.
Well, wait. We talked to this entity first, and it did not go well.
no, I don't remember
It
what
was
he
cursed
said,
place.
but I remember it going bad.
Unnecessarily rude, first of all.
Mm.
He was like, I'm not gonna let you talk to me. I'm just gonna knock you
And then
out.
Egan basically was presented with some sticks. And of course, they had to burn them.
Nom, nom,
Yeah.
nom.
And Gemma happened
Delicious.
to be in a strange ceramic-like cave, and the ground began to get hot, and Gemma turned into liquid. And then Purple Pippa was larger than
like hot
that and was
spring.
brewing tea. So then Purple Pippa drank Gemma,
Salty.
and then all of them turned into little golden
salty?
birds, and La La Lemon ate all of them as
Yep.
they hopped through the city before going into the same chimney.
We were all really banking on Lala eating us without being prompted, and it sounds like it went well.
All my hopes were, if you did not, the episodes were not going to line up. Like, that was totally a hope
Yeah.
he'll continue to be consistent.
And then you threw us up, didn't you? Like in the middle of the air.
There was a dramatic falling scene, wasn't there?
Yeah. And I think we failed to catch you multiple times.
Dark dreams, weird portents. If you all had to guess what you thought was happening, or if these things had any meaning before we end this chit-chat episode, give me some guesses. I want to hear some theories. I want to write my story based on your guesses. Give me endings. Give me content.
What?
Come on, hurry up. I'm tired. I'm a GM.
You stink.
Mine was a pretty clear manifestation of guilt.
Guilt
No,
at what?
I told you
Gemma?
mine.
I mean,
Gemma,
Well,
guilt at what?
Guilt, but also perhaps
Yeah,
Guilt at what, Gemma?
guilt
Yeah,
at what?
guilt.
Many
What?
times.
Daddy, Theo, guilt at what?
We haven't really had any talk about why Gemma had to make a deal.
You're the only backstory that didn't involve the deal making, actually.
Yeah, are we keeping this a secret? Should I say? I don't know.
I mean,
Tell
this
me
is
everything.
this is the time to
Fine.
talk about it, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I will just say, Gemma's pretty moody, and she might have made a mistake.
Okay.
No, that's not that's not enough.
It's not enough.
That's-
I want
No, I'm
more.
good with
More.
that. No, I.
Okay, I've played it coy enough. Being a Selkie, one way that mortals can trap them is by taking their coat. And she happened upon whatever flavor of the month holding her coat, thought that they, unknown gender, was trying to trap her and murdered them before they had a chance to explain or anything. Of course, Gemma's drama town, so she instantly regretted it, and thus a deal was made.
Yeah, so Gemma made a deal to bring back the lover that was then afraid of her.
Sounds like a reasonable response. Like, trying to take your stuff, bro.
My
Like,
freedom
Get him.
But
Get him.
I imagine Gemma's having a bit of an arrested development of like this really traumatic mortal childhood that never really came to any resolution. She kind of just went feral, and so what I imagine that could become over hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years without therapy.
Okay, everyone. Without spoilers, what is one thing you're excited? I mean, and you can say the spoiler, just don't say the context of the spoiler. What's something you're excited
Okay.
for people to hear that hasn't come out yet?
Ooh.
We talked
There's
about
a very
mine.
specific callback. I need people to hear.
What callback is that?
Just about shopping.
Just about shopping.
Just about shopping and driving to work.
I'm really excited for everyone to get the final winter form reveals.
Farrell's been drawing those.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I will just say, without trying to say too much, for them, Purple Pippa's was my favorite, and I was the most surprised, and I felt like I knew them better when I saw the inspiration. You did good, Zoe, and I'm trying to keep it on the down low, but you can share as much as you want to share.
Nameless Egan.
I have a name
It's
now.
not yours.
You know what? You come through the screen, I will pop you in the face. I really. We're all going through it simultaneously, and it is the peak of our chaos, and the results are unexpected, and it's amazing.
Nothing happened.
Nothing?
Nothing happened.
I'd say a lot
Nothing,
happened,
you sure?
to be honest, personally.
So much
I
happened.
don't think so. I think we remember different episodes.
Basically, we were supposed to have a semi-relaxing episode.
we were supposed to have a spa day.
There's been 2 of them.
And we goofed it. No big deal. We goofed it.
Yeah,
It's fine.
listeners, I'm trying to give them, hey, let's sit around and play What the Fuck is Up with That episodes, and within 5 minutes, they're crawling into each other's bodies or ruining local
I mean,
economies.
hey, what the fuck is up with
Yeah.
that?
I was trying to have a nice moment bonding with everyone, and then, the crawling in people's bodies and stuff just happened. Yeah.
Me too.
I can't say anything.
It just
I'll keep it in.
happens. It just happens sometimes.
It's almost like the Chaos Crew flipped.
We've drank each other as tea. We've consumed each other. We've, we're just super into
And yet
it.
we've never actually had a conversation.
We know each other inside and out.
Yep.
Y'all don't even know my name.
That's true. We don't know your name.
You won't tell us, alright? Whose fault is
No
it?
one's really asked since.
That's
Are you
true.
kidding me? It's because you keep changing it.
Well, you haven't changed in a while.
No, there hasn't been an opportunity. I kind of thought we would be talking more about ourselves by now, but we just keep getting distracted.
Fairies are as fairies do.
There's secrets to uncover.
Before I have these fairies tell you where you can find them, oh my gosh, some promo. Okay, so we still have like half of our guest list to come up this season. Dew on a Tree will be joining us with Sam Size. Dew on a Tree from 5 GMs in a Trench Coat. And Sam Size from Science and Sorcery will be joined again by Jess as they, with Rhubarb, go out and explore the land. We'll also have Aporna Writes. If you do not know Porna Writes, they played an Apocalypse Keys game that literally changed like my roleplay theories. It was so absolutely beautiful. And Lalion Cosplay, who is nothing but an absolute pro, are going to be playing 2 fairies at the exact same ball in the episode we already had, who are watching it from the balcony above. Then there's another episode where Rachel from RP Jesters, Forever GM Justin, who is a Crit Award nominee, Onduin and Shadow Sylvia, all 3 of them also from the Crit Award nominated channel RD5 that Mika is a part of, will be playing a episode that begins around a tea party, and they will be interacting with some things that dramatically change the future of our current fairies. Then Erica Cant Game of Albion Abacy will be joining us for The Bird Builder. And that's all I'll be saying about that
The
episode.
Bird Builder.
I believe Erica can game.
And then our final guest for this
For sure.
season, the Candice Marie. The Candice Marie will be joining us playing Redacted. And then, when this season is done, next year, we have
What
the
do you
Corner
mean?
of Pleasure in West River coming, which is I made the game. It's custom. There's like 13 people in that. Then there's a game of Apocalypse World that Zoe, Kelly, and Feral are all in with the Improv and RPG. That's the name of his account. Matt? His name's Matt.
Matt, yeah, who was one of
Matt.
the original
Yes.
founders of Roll D5.
Will be
He's-
joining
he's
us for
lovely.
One of the
Apocalypse
original
World.
5.
And then No Gods, No Afters with Tot Coco of Soul Calibur, Nuff of Abby of Make Us Cry, with Tot Coco of Soul Operator, Nuff of Abby of Make Us All Cry, Oak Leaf Insignia of quite a few things, the Bunny and Burrows and Unprepared Casters, and Yeah Boy Big,
Sadie.
yes, Sadie, and Yeah Boy Big Ian, who is such a fucking
Ian.
powerhouse, and I'm so stoked to be making games with him. And then after that, one more thing on our schedule is an all-Latin Wander Home game miniseries that will have our very own Mika, and then North Wolf of Twisted Tales, Agnothetic, and Monroe 98, who are 2 new additions to the channel, and I'm very excited for that. After that,
Angie.
yes, I will be trying to get some other guest GMs actually on the channel. Mika is one that is in conversations. Our people are talking, drawing up contracts.
Ooh.
Aaron in my laundry of the TTRPG Collective is the other one. And then Yeah Boy Big, Ian, is the third who is in preemptive legal maneuverings. So,
I think it's pronounced your
Yeah.
boy big.
Yeah Boy Big.
I believe. No, wait, no.
GMing for Ian and Star Wars,
boy.
he was my absolute favorite because every pun I would make, his face would just go stern. And like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
In judgment.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
And I think at that moment is when I began to call it Yeah Boy Big.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boy.
boy.
But I wanted to shout out all these wonderful people because they're wonderful and I really love the games we're playing. And then, where can people find you? What are you up to lately? Let's go in the same little order. Zoe, what's your name?
Oh, goodness.
Throw out
Hi,
your links.
I'm Zoe. My goodness.
Zoe's so busy and accomplished.
That's definitely not true.
It's true.
It is so true.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
It's so true.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and you can find me at Potato on Twitter. And what am I doing? When is this
So
coming
much.
out?
This
the
will be
Technomancy
in like a
Project
month
is
or
coming
so.
out.
This one won't be crazy far away.
Okay, yeah, I think the Technomancy Project will not be out yet, but I'm in that. And there's 2 seasons of that already out. If you like spookiness, go listen to that. That's
I do.
sometimes spooky.
I do.
Yeah. And then, if you also like other spooky things, go listen to Error 313.
Yes. Hey,
Hey, that's what.
hey, we're going in order here. We're not down there yet.
I'm not in that one.
Feral, the TTRPG award-winning performer. What are you in lately? What's going on? Are you in anything?
This is what I do. I do the hardest dungeon. I did finally cave in and got
Specialist.
socials. So you can now find Feral Moonbeam on Twitter and Instagram.
Cave to
And,
peer pressure. Good job.
Yeah, I did the thing. And I also do the art for the podcast.
Sounds real good.
Talented.
Yeah.
Are
Hobby
you on
goblin.
multiple shows that you would like to tell us about?
I do things. I do
You
things.
can't say
well,
I'm Kelly. I do
can't
things.
tell-
Mika will
I-
have. Will
I'll
I
have
do
Lala
do
sue
things.
you.
yeah,
I
lawyer
do
writing it up
things.
right now.
And I just rolled a bunch of good dice
I,
again. 2 6s, 3 5s.
DMCA'd.
I'm gonna win
Kelly,
this.
you're gonna have to start that differently.
Oh,
Sorry,
Toast.
you just
What'd I
can't say
do?
you do things because
One
of
of
how
us is
well
gonna have
Lala
to change.
rolled. Like he snagged that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He pocketed it.
Fine. You
hate
can. You should go listen to Error 313,
Super
good.
good.
which is a new
It's really
audio
good.
drama. Thank you.
Listen to it.
So you should go listen to that. Yeah, listen to it.
Listen to it.
Especially
Yeah,
if you
do
need
it. Why are you doing
assistance.
still here? You stink. You can also find me in a streamed game on Beggar Street on Tuesdays. It's a Girl by Moonlight game. And then I'm in another game coming that we're going to start recording for soon that I can't talk about you just follow me on social media and
What's
then
your
you'll
name
find
on
out all
there?
my stuff. Like my social security number, where I was born, what my stripper name would be according to the road you live on, what is it, and the name of your first pet. Is that the formula?
Something like that. Your mother's maiden name.
Whatever
There you
makes
go.
you feel
Perfect.
empowered.
You can find me at the Kel Hop. You know what? That's so true, so correct.
The Kel Hop.
But I'm the Kel Hop. Just follow me there, and I'll talk about stuff. That's it.
First, actually, I want to plug a non-roleplay podcast that I do. It's been a hot minute since I've uploaded. I've got 1 week since it's that's it. That's all I'm promoting. I've got an episode I've been editing since last October.
Spooky.
That I've been trying to figure, because I don't like Audacity. It's a thing. Anyway, it's called Queer Stake. And it's, if you're not familiar with Mormonism, a stake, S-T-A-K-E, encompasses a bunch of different wards, which are congregations. Anyway, it's me interviewing current, former, and questioning members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who are also queer. And then RP-wise, I'm part of 3 long-running games. There's Ravenloft Misfits on Talking XP, which we're at the end game now. We've got like maybe 6-ish episodes left, I think. I've got Weird Wilds War and Entropy Emporium. That one just started. And then on Wanderer's Haven, we have For the Horde of the Dragon Queen, where we're playing members of the Cult of Tiamat. Coming
yeah.
up soon in like pretty soon after this airs, Rahrah and I have a podcast on tabletop tail spinners.
Relic.
For a little game called Relict, which some great role playing in there.
Y'all hanging out.
And
without
then
me.
you can
You should rate all of these 5 stars.
please do.
5 stars on Spotify.
Leave a comment.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Mika GMs that campaign coming out on Tabletop Tail Spinners Network.
I get to do my own I love dream sequences. I love doing dream sequences, like being the GM for them.
How is it having me as a player, Mika?
I enjoy it.
Thank you for saying that.
We've got a really nice cast of people. Like there's you, there's Juicy, there's Rachel, there's Andy.
It's a pretty.
It
stellar
really
cast.
is. Everyone just works together so well. But otherwise, you can find me on Roll D5, where I produce and play, etc. I usually decide what games we play. We specialize in indie games. If you've got game suggestions, send it our way. You can find me Wanderer's Haven, on Lost Caravan. I'm on there a decent amount. Lots of good folk there. And I've got other projects coming up, like Kate the Great. Anyway, I'm done. Yeah, sorry. Lots of dog.
Oh, Doug. Oh, and I forgot. I'm in things as a player coming up soon, too. I'm doing a 10 Candles Jurassic Park game on Twisted
10 Candles is so
Tales. Yes, on Twisted Tales. Great cast.
Hold on. The Jurassic. I did not make that connection that you were using 10 candles for
And
that.
enough of
Oh
that
my
is
God.
the GM on that.
That's incredible.
Northwolf's going to be on that too, right?
For a moment, he's producing the thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because I was just on a panel with him.
And I'm
That's amazing.
GMing a 4-part Old Gods of Appalachia over on Nerds with Dice this October. And we have the whole cast locked in for that. And I'm a little nervous about that because I don't usually GM multiple nights a month live. Because I would rather edit
do great.
myself.
You're gonna be great.
But in other news, we made it into the New Zealand Web Fest, so that makes us 3 for 3 for festivals we ventured into, and we would
Cacao.
really appreciate if you leave us a review because I forget to say it all the time. So 5 stars if you agree with
5
that statement
stars.
on any of your podcast listening devices. Thanks for watching.
Listening.
We love you.
Listening. They're listening. Rahrah.
No, I promise someone's watching.